So as we have discussed in the past, um, uh, and let me give the host over to. So, so you want, if you need anything, just ping me. I think you should take over now. Um, well, now that I made the producer the host, oh, well, so sorry, more technical difficulties here. Now I hope, yeah, maybe Himanshu, if you can help Yuan to get the host. Sorry about that. So going back to, how as we progress in our vertical ascent, um, the distractions that come. So, even if you go a little bit towards a concentrated mind or a focused mind, some mental powers come to distract. Sometimes fame and fortune would distract. Sometimes greed and lust will distract. Um, and if all of this can be tackled in one way or the other, um, you know, um, okay, hold on. Let's. Um, so um, so ego is another thing that will eventually get in the way, and sometimes we see people who have kind of quote unquote gone crazy with power or ego, um, money or some sort of a title, goes to the head. Um, so there are ways in which mind would overpower the good thoughts and bring forth, you know, thoughts that are negative, that are bad. Uh, and then mind has the ability to bring forth, doubts uh, rather than faith and belief. Um, and then, one of the typical ways, as Buddha it says that, attachments are the cause of misery, and mind, would get us into these worldly attachments, um, and make us follow the mirage that doesn't lead us to where we intend to be. So, so basically, monkey mind keeps pushing us down so that so to move vertically upwards uh, for the spiritual ascent, we need to control and calm our mind. So fighting our monkey mind is not just a fight in our meditation routine, it's a fight that's much broader. That is what keeps us from becoming the best of our own self. It keeps us from becoming a real human being. Um, you know, so so typically, the person who would help us in this fight, traditionally, and especially in India, that person would be called the guru. The guru is said to be the person who has been there, done that. Um, and, so Guru Maharaj in this chapter says that uh, devil is nothing but our own monkey mind that keeps us away from the deep joy and lasting peace. And then he goes back to um, quote Maharishi Patanjali from Yoga Sutra, Vishoka va Jyotishmati. So without any sadness or feeling of any kind of misery, Jyotishmati, which is like think of light. And that light would bring you and lift you upwards. So that's what we do here. Um, let me check with. So Yuan, are you back in control? Because then I can describe. Yep, we're good. Okay. Okay. So I, so basically, let's practice this approach where not only we will control our mind, but in a state where we will try to manifest this transcendental energy in the form of light. And in that process, we uplift, we change the direction. So instead of pushing downwards, we are now pushing ourselves upwards. And that's the spiritual ascent that takes us to the top of the pyramid, or the place where there is ocean of peace. So inward orientation, eyes lightly closed, and we basically, sit in a relaxed and still posture. So relaxed and still posture, eyes lightly closed. So all that is to focus our, mind, our entire concentration inwards. And then we want to manifest this transcendental light in our heart. So eyes lightly closed, so the sensory input is not distracting our mind. Still posture, because every time the body moves, our mind moves with it and gets distracted. And now focus our mind on this transcendental energy, which is right here, right now. Feel the presence, feel the connection, and that light. So this energy in form of light is entering into our heart, enlightening our heart. And from there, the light is getting to every nook and corner of our body. And basically, we are becoming the light. We're getting totally immersed in this light. So that's the only thing we will do. If you do anything to, breath work, any mindfulness, mantras, chanting, etc., you can do before or after. And this concentration, this practice would help that practice as well. So, but Guru Maharaj says during this time, while you are meditating on light, we go deep into silent meditation that leads to higher consciousness. So during this time, we are only being an observer of this light and what you think you become. So this process actually takes you into this higher consciousness more effectively, more efficiently. So yes, it may be difficult initially, but with practice, it becomes second nature, and you just have to It's about, yes, controlling the mind, because mind takes us back and forth. So that'll happen during the meditation too. So when you are trying to focus on this transcendental energy in form of light, mind will wander away. And when you see that mind has gone away somewhere else, thinking about something else, you bring it back. That's also inward orientation. Bring it back to this thought and this thought alone, that this transcendental energy in form of light is right here, right now, with us, in front of us. And that light is entering your heart, enlightening your heart, and then distributing throughout your body. And you're becoming completely and totally immersed in this light. Mind wanders away, bring it back. And we will start with music, and that helps the concentration. Then music fades away, and we go deep into silent meditation. That's the core of this practice. And then we'll transition out with music again. Let's start. So happy Saturday, everyone. I'm glad that we are here in Satsang, and hopefully we all felt a bit calm, peace, and quiet. We could find a little bit in our meditation today. Hopefully a lot, but at least some. And this is your time. You can, unmute, put your video on. You can share your thoughts, comments, and questions through audio or through chat. So before I open it up today, we're talking about how mind affects our inner peace. And in another chapter in my in Guru Maharaj's book, Sadhana Ke Anubhav, which is his experience through the spiritual journey, he says that, it's the mind is like a sphere of thoughts, almost like a ball full of thoughts. And these thoughts are ever changing. And one comes up and then vanishes, then another one comes up, and then the sequence just is never ending. And what he says is that these thoughts are like clouds. The clouds come, get pushed out, keep changing the form forever. And I also, I personally like the, almost like, to me, when I think about the mind, I think about the ocean. And on the surface of the ocean, there are so many waves. That's our monkey mind, the conscious mind. And as you go deeper into the subconscious and unconscious mind, that's where you potentially see, gradually increasing peace. But if we just think about the surface, so these waves keep coming up and down. And some of these waves we ride and we feel very good. But it feels good as it is, going up. But when it falls, it's not so good. But that continues to happen, and not having control on that process is what continually, like keeps us away from peace, and this ever-changing process. So then he goes and says, actually our mind was supposed to be in control of our brain. And the brain was supposed to be, the where our capability or our decision-making process, and what's good, what's not so good, what's the right thing to do, all that should be the function of our brain. And a well-functioning brain should be, doing that. But what happens is this mind takes over. And when that happens, with the changing thought processes, our decision-making process also gets clouded with these emotions that are affecting the mind. And slowly the discretionary power and the decision-making power gets affected. And so this whole take over by the mind has to be reversed. And that's what this process, meditations do. Anyway, so yeah, let's open this up. Uh, so Mary, okay, let me read that out. Um, oh, so the more I'm here with the group, the easier it becomes to achieve the inward orientation. I definitely agree with that. And I have talked about this. My, you know, practice was primarily the group sessions because group sessions have a collective energy which is phenomenally more than the individual you know, energy. And not just the inward orientation, but the focus, the concentration, the, uh, you know, I think it's the group collective energy, especially in this meditation, is like it just collectively uplifts everyone. And so in my view, participating in these group sessions actually is a service of its own because we are helping ourselves as well as everyone else in the satsang. So a lot of times I think like, oh, we should have a beginner session to explain this, that, and everything else. But then uh, it becomes very important to have people who have deeper practice, higher uplifted energy, because that helps others. So for beginner session, you ought to have the people who are at a higher ground. So that's what satsang is all about. Just one person who is on a higher ground will uplift the rest. That's, I think, how it works and how it ought to work. And thanks, Mary. I do agree wholeheartedly. So yeah, and really apologize about the technical difficulties this morning. And Yuan, I apologize to you too. I didn't properly inform that the daylight savings has affected the time here in the US. So Luz, Steve, Eddie, or for that matter, anyone else who wants to, um, chime in. Oh, Luz is on the different planet today.
Yes.
Nice background.
Thank you. I hope everyone's doing well. It was great to meditate with you as it always is. It was a really nice, beautiful meditation today. So thank you all, and thank you especially Sanji for
No,
the
thank you all. I totally feel it's all, the sessions are getting deeper and better, every week. So it's really nice.
I was thinking a little bit about the monkey mind, your talks and discussions about the monkey mind and how this meditation can help. And, one way that I see it helping too is creating distance. Like the things that make your mind the monkey mind probably are tied to like biological instinct to protect yourself. Like whatever it is you're worried about is probably rooted in survival mechanisms that are wired into our brains. Like, so if you're, worried about, if you're anxious about like an upcoming presentation or something, it's just, your survive there's like that primitive part of your mind that kicks in, and it's like really it's not a life and death situation, but it feels like one. Even though it's not, because that part of your brain that was formulated thousands and thousands of years ago is kicking in, but it's not. It's an illusion, really. And so maybe in some ways, when you sit down and you meditate and you clear your mind, it creates like an objective distance for you to like observe your mind and realize, it brings you higher, and you can look down and assess the situation a little bit more clearly. It helps you to do that, I think. Or at least that's how I feel it does for me. So I was just thinking about that.
No, absolutely. Um, I think this detachment or creating that little bit of distance um, and ability to observe as well. Um, so just, sometimes we say stepping back to think about taking a broader perspective. Um, I think that's what happens with meditation. Wow. So, yeah, who is next?
Good morning, everyone. I just add on to that, that idea about the separation. And that's very important. Obviously, we want to get to that state where we become observers and we're able to distance ourselves from those thoughts or not become attached to them. And so I just wanted to make mention that, through this practice where we become more spiritualized, um, that happens automatically, I think. We become detached from the worldly objects, and that gives us a bit of our minds the ability to rest more and not, be susceptible to what we call the monkey mind. And that comes with that separation, comes with practice. So, just by being here every week, I think we're cultivating more spiritual attachment and less material attachment through our practice here in Satsang, and that's just a natural part of what happens. So, just doing this every week is really getting to that state where we distance ourselves from worldly objects, but also from these rising thoughts, and we find a bit of peace in the deep recesses of our minds. And so, I thought that was just sort of an interesting, way of looking at it. This idea of separation. And it really is, when we say that, it really is a move towards more spiritual things and away from more material things. And that happens every week that we're here through our practice and everything. So I just want to make mention, that's one of the reasons why we should come.
Yeah, totally agree. So, Arvindji, you just joined, but actually, um, yeah, not that I want to put you on spot, but feel free to chime in. And Steve, hello there.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Yeah, it was good to meditate. It helps to recharge. It's a busy and long week, so I just feel like it helps a person to bounce back. But this is I was listening to you today. I was thinking about how ego, fame, fortune, greed, lust, all those things. We live in a society in the United States here anyways, where everything is based on competition. And I've been watching a lot of basketball the last few days, and I just feel like it's important just to slow down and recognize what's really important, and so much of that I think can just be fixed by being around the proper type of people that have the right focus and the right energy, and then that helps, I think, helps to ground us. So it was a really nice session today.
Yeah, good that you see, like, being ambitious and being competitive can be many flavors. I remember when I used to take my kids to basketball games, and uh, there were times when people were like ready to fist fight, right? And then we also talk about the uh, playing the game in the spirit of the game, and it's like kids. I mean, one day you will win and the other one you will lose, and just taking that in perspective, it's like sometimes it's so hard. And that's where I think the discussion is that who's in charge? Are we in control of our emotions, or the emotions are taking over? That's all, right? I mean, we have to do what we got to do, but how are we executing matters. Sometimes people think that just because someone meditates, they will let everyone you know um, roll over them or something. I don't think so. I feel it's the other way around. With your concentration, with your focus, with your ability to uh, really do the right things, you will. It's like the marathon versus the sprint. I think you will be a much uh, better, uh, you know, marathon runner, and longer term, uh, you would achieve things in a very responsible way. Yeah.
I just wanted to follow up. That's, again, competition. That's like, again, going back to that part of your brain that, back thousands of years ago, it's again survival instincts, right? And, but this environment, and I really liked what Steve said about finding the right people to like do this with and share energy with, because I think that's true. This environment creates kind of like a safe space, a place where you don't need I mean, there's no need for the competition. I mean, there's never a need for that. But the focus here is more communal desire to, reach the state of happiness and peace. And, so it is very important to find the right like-minded people. I mean, if there is one that is in unfortunate circumstances where they can't find that, it's still beneficial to meditate. But, it's just a wonderful gift to have a group to do it with, because it's the energy is just 10 times more.
Yeah. See, yeah, sometimes I wonder, like, there are these layers. So when you are at a basketball game, you have to work towards winning. But when you're sitting in meditation, um, you ought to achieve a state where you are above, some of this. So I have actually, if I rewind a while ago, um, in one of those sessions in India, I talked about how competition and comparison and some of these things are very worldly. They do not have a place in the spiritual realm, in the higher realms, because you know, it's like almost like when motherly instincts take over, when you're when you are in this uh, communion where you just, you know, you're part of it, and everything is integral to your own joy and happiness and health, and everybody else's happiness and health is integral to yours. And once you have that uh, higher level view, um, you know, it's like the competition gets replaced with service. Your, you know, comparison actually, you know, and these things get replaced with selfless and unconditional love. So that's the state we got to be on. And then, you know, when you have to be, um, you know, so it's like you ought to be at a higher state, and with that ability, you execute your day to day. The perspective changes, the whole approach changes in a very like I don't know. I mean, I can. It's just when a yogi gets into action, every action is towards one singular goal of achieving this, you know, higher consciousness. Um, so, but yeah. Sarvinji, how are you?
And Namaskar, Bhaiya, and Namaskar, everyone. Happy Saturday, everybody. I'm good, thanks to Guru Maharaj's blessing and grace. I just wanted to say that the bliss and the peace, whenever one joins this group, you know, whenever one gets a chance to join you, is palpable, and it cannot be explained in words. So thank you so much, everybody, and Puja Bhaiya.
And Omkar, you know, should say it out loud, but I'll, you know, so I'll still fall ill, need food, need air to breathe, even when I become an expert in meditation. So world does not change. Its rules are not bended for meditating people. The only thing I get is a new perspective about me and about the world. That's profound. Yeah, very true. Very true. So on that note, so Eddie, do you have any other thoughts to wrap up, or we should, I think Omkar's note was great.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I don't have anything particular to add.
Perfect. What a great session. Thank you all for being here and being that collective energy that, you know, helped us all. So thank you. And have a great week ahead. We'd like to see you all back here, you know, Tuesday or Saturday, whenever time, you know, you can make time, and let love, peace, and light be with you. You know, let's be at a higher level and help others to achieve that. So on that note, we'll see you all soon. Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaskar ji.
Namaste, Bhaiya.
So
Bye.
much.
Thank you. Sanjeev ji. Good night, everyone. Have a good day.
Namaste, Bhaiya ji.
Namaskar. Thanks, Steve.